This video will single-handedly be one of the most important videos you watch if you truly want to become a successful trader, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And once you finish watching this entire video, I promise you will know exactly why you haven't become a successful trader and exactly what you need to be doing moving forward. So let's dive in.
Preparation and organization. Well, I mean, there's probably 4 or 5 things that are just huge ingredients that really make up that recipe for success, in my opinion, right? I mean, you can have motivation and you can have a reason why and all those things, right? Like that's to get you going and keep you going. In terms of what's actually producing results, I really think it comes down to like 4 or 5 things, and that's really preparation, organization. I guess that's 2 of the same. Self-development, because rarely will your external results or your bank account or the material or the physical, whatever that it looks like, rarely will those results exceed self-development. It's always going to be a direct reflection. Everything on the outside is at the same level you are internally in terms of your growth and your mindset and just the level of play you're at. So, you know, you have the preparation and the organization, and then you have the self-development, and then it's really measuring. I mean, you guys know I'm a big one with measuring, and it's not just what we're measuring on the charts. I keep pointing this way because I have the setup right there, but it's not just the back testing and the measuring what we're doing on the charts. It's just the measuring of all inputs and outputs and that feedback loop, that constant feedback loop for everything. And this is the food that you're eating, the workout, the exercising that you're doing, the even the preparation, right? Everything that I'm doing, I'm measuring the inputs and the outputs, right? The process, the systems, and measuring those outcomes. And if they're desirable or not, or favorable, then, you know, I'm amplifying or converting or eliminating. And that's how you're going to create this self-sufficient machine that we talk about in EFXU. So measuring is a big one, right? Every aspect. And then when you're measuring, that is the only way that you can optimize. And then from there, that is the only way you can scale. And this applies for trading, health, business, everything. And then the next one that kind of, you know, plays off of those all those things that we talked about, environment and routine. So, you know, I talk about environment a lot, and, you know, just having that environment and routines that really promote success. You want to put yourself, it's like having that guy on third base and, you know, bunting that guy home, or swinging for that signal or that single base hit to drive that guy home, right? Like the setup to get the guy and get up the run, right? Everything you want to do is to set up and promote yourself for success. So just having, you know, I talk about, you know, the physical direct environment where, you know, I'm talking about the lights, the natural lighting, the blue lights that I have behind the screens. You can kind of see them there. You know, I have them everywhere in my office, right? And then I have them over there behind the TV. I don't have them on yet, or right now, right? Just having a clean workstation, organized, right? All my stuff just organized. I know where everything is. You know, it's just all set up for efficiency and success, right? I mean, you can see Google Calendar, locked and loaded, ready to go for the morning. These Remarkables are really awesome. These are like a digital notepad, and they come with this pencil or pen, and it's like a digital thing. It's just, if you use a lot of paper, you write a lot of notes, it's a really cool device. So I got my notes here. I got some things that I got to fill out and mail tomorrow. So like when I come in here in the morning, everything's right here. Even before, like I'm reviewing everything I have to do tomorrow. I have my meetings. I have, I know when I'm meditating, I know when I'm going to be coming in here to trade. I know when I have my 10 a.m. huddle. I know I have my 11 a.m. meeting. We have the Q&A. We have a 1 o'clock meeting. Like everything's there. I know how long those are. I know when they start. I know what I have to do prior to prepare and what's going to take place on those, right? It's just, it's just that level of preparation, which just helps you in so many areas. I mean, I can't stress it enough. You talk to anybody who is extremely successful and just relentless at what they're doing, showing up every single day, having that consistency and the discipline to do this over and over again, just focused on that vision, that long-term gratification, that long-term goal, right? They will preach preparation, right? Just having everything systemized and having everything, these standards that are set that ultimately lead to these default decisions that we want to, always be executing. And that's why the preparation and the routines and the environment just all together promote success. The Google Calendar is just huge for me. It's how I create new routines. I talked about it the other day where, just something simple where, FTMO, those new accounts that I got, maybe like 4 months ago. One of the things that I had to get in the habit of doing was checking the news, because they give you this 2-minute window before and after where you can't close up positions. And if you do, you're going to lose the account. And at first I was forgetting to do it. And then I'd be like, oh crap, Lou, do we have any restrictions on this trade that we're about to execute? And it was almost playing Russian roulette. So what I did was I set an alert for 6:30 a.m. every morning. And that alert from my Google Calendar that pops up on my phone and my watch and my browser says, make sure before you trade, you check this Google announcement. And then every single day, that alert is popping up. And the next thing you know, it's becoming a new habit. And it just starts to be something that's factored into my everyday routine without even thinking about it. And then I started doing it prior to even getting those alerts. And then I can go and remove that alert. And it's something that's just automatic now. So that's something that's just been extremely huge for me personally. And just this level of preparation, like I was saying, I mean, you're not going to find anybody who's doing something at a very high level that is not extremely organized, has their environment clean, no clutter, no distractions, right? And just everything is laid out, right? They have this vision, they know and they can see it and they can feel it, and they have every stepping block planned out, what they need to do, and then you're reverse engineering things. And this is just going to eliminate mistakes. It's going to shorten activities. It's going to promote efficiency. It's going to promote the best use of your time, period. And then it also reduces stress and reduces the guesswork. Like, I'm not starting my day like, okay, what am I going to do today? Or I have a bunch of stuff. I know I have to do all these things. I know I have to do some trainings, and, I got to eat healthy, and, I got to, exercise. I got to do some self-development. I should probably start meditating. Like, you're doing all these things, and, you're racking them up in your brain, especially as you're going through a program. And then, you get all hyped up and motivated to do these things. Like, you have like the keys, right? Somebody's flipping you the keys to the Lambo, and it's like, getting all excited. It almost appears like a shiny object, but you go about your day and there's no planning that goes into that. Next day rolls around and it's just one of those things that you thought about doing, right? You thought about this plan and all these things that you need or want to do to get you to where you want to go. And then it just turns into another day that none of that happens. And that day turns into you thinking about those things again, right? And it's just like, okay, well, today I'm going to do this, and, I got to mark up charts, and I'm going to trade, and I got to juggle this around my family and my kids and my job. And, I got to start meditating so I can have a clear mind, right? Like I got to do all these things. And then it just turns into, when am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? Why am I even doing it? And, it's just, they get lost in translation, right? They get lost in the everyday shuffle, So versus if you take a picture where you have these things fully structured throughout your day, right? My days are just extremely structured. It just eliminates the guesswork. And most importantly, like doing this is a way to produce expected results. So like, if I want to meditate, what are the things that I'm doing in a day? Okay, or write them down. Here's what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, and how long it's taking. Then you're gonna have all these little gaps, and you're using these gaps that you're gonna fill in with the things that are going to drive or promote success. So let's say, you want to start meditating, right? So that's the mental primer for the day to give you clarity so you can focus. That's a big one, right? You want to have these little rituals and routines that you're doing in the morning primarily so you're just ready to go, you're zoned in, you're locked in, and you're ready, to just handle what you need to do, right? So let's say you want to factor in meditation, and then you look and you say, okay, this is when I'm waking up. This is what I'm doing in the morning, my morning shuffle of making coffee and getting the kids ready for school and brushing my teeth and, making breakfast. I probably said that already. And here's when I go to work, but this is, I can factor out 15 minutes here to start meditating. Or if you don't have that, maybe I can give myself an extra 30 minutes if I wake up 30 minutes earlier and go to bed 30 minutes earlier. So I have that extra 30 minutes, 45 minutes to, meditate, maybe get 10 minutes of cardio in. Maybe it's 15 minutes of reading a book, whatever it might be, right? And then have it planned out. Like just have all these things structured, planned out, the time you're going to do it, how long you're going to do it for, and then what you're going to do in that block of time. And then I'm telling you, Google Calendar, right? That's going to I like Google Calendar because it links to everything. You have everything organized, color coded. I get my alerts on my phone. I get my alerts on my watch, right? As I'm sitting here, I got my alert for 7 o'clock, time to get in the office to prepare for the day ahead. I have them for everything, right? I mean, going through my catalog of displays today, I'm time to make dinner, right? Just even little things like boom, like, cause I can get lost too in the shuffle sometimes. Sometimes I'll be so engulfed in what I'm doing and I'll lose track of time. But then I get that vibration on my wrist. I look down, oh, boom, it's time to do this. I'll stop what I'm doing and then I'm gonna move on to the next thing, right? So that's just a way that you're just not leaving anything up for chance, and you're just connecting everything to Google Calendar, and you're just I have it so I get blasted. Almost every room in my house, I have it hooked up so I'm getting an alert in some fashion. And then taking it a step further, I know I talk a lot about this in module 1 of week 8, but then it's the accountability factor, right? And then also sharing it with people who are close to me, Katie, for example, so they know what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. So, if we have something to do, we can plan for it based on the schedule that we have. The guys have my schedule, I have their schedule, and we have things linked to Asana, which is kind of like a to-do list, checklist type thing with scheduling built into it, where you have these tasks and then, you have deadlines and you get these alerts. And when something's, overdue, everybody gets alerted. And it's just a really good way of just holding each other accountable. So, I mean, I honestly, like, preparation and just organization are just extremely powerful. Like if you want to create these new habits and you want to create this routine that is actually going to drive you closer to results and actually make your level of income increase, you know, all these different things, right? Like it's going to start with you actually preparing, like not just making a to-do list, but, you know, really, like if I was gonna tell somebody to just really spend a good chunk of time working on and getting dialed in, it's getting your day-to-day mapped out, scheduled, planned, plug into something like a Google Calendar with these things set on repeat. Like my calendar looks monstrous, but a lot of those things are just set on repeat daily, repeat weekly, repeat monthly, and it auto fills in. And then, you know, anytime I get invited to a meeting or whatever, they're using my email that's linked to my Google, and it's automatically filled in into my calendar, right? So, you know, I would just tell somebody, like, spend the time that you have, like take a good chunk of time and dedicate it to preparing and organizing and getting your shit together. Figure out what you're gonna do. And it's not just throwing a bunch of, you know, BS onto a calendar to make it look like it's full so you can feel productive. All right, that's where the measuring comes in. Everything I do, my schedule is, you know, operating or optimized for when I can perform my best and all things that are going to drive results, everything, right? Because I've looked at certain outputs. I'll do things or I'll swap things out and see if this thing works. Like, you know, just take health, for example. I've had like different green juices. I've done celery drinks. I've done all these different multivitamins or whatever it might be. And then that's my input. And then I'm measuring that process, you know, and how I'm feeling and the overall output. And then based on that output, okay, I need to do more of this. I need to do less of this. This is working. This isn't working. Okay, I'm going to take that out of the routine. I'm going to keep this in the routine. I'm going to try something else. And you're doing that with everything, right? Your health, your food, your plan for trading, your plan for everything, right? I mean, that's just what it all comes down to. When you talk about success in any area, if you want to be a bodybuilder, if you want to be, you know, a professional athlete, if you want to be a full-time trader, right? Whatever it is, like if you want to just get in better shape, it's measuring what works and what doesn't work, and then do more of what works and less of what doesn't work. And then you're optimizing it, right? And then you're scaling it. You know, so that's really what I would say to focus on. And then once you have that dialed in, you know, the majority of what I do, especially in the morning, is understanding that I have pretty demanding days in most cases, right? And I like it like that. Like I'm a guy that likes to stay busy. I'm super hungry. I feel like I haven't even got started yet. So I know I need to be on top of my game, and I know I'm not getting any younger, right? So I know that I need to have energy, not just something that's, you know, driven by caffeine where I'm going to start crashing. I need to have extreme focus. I need to know, you know, I need to be able to get locked in, right? I need to just be able to have that stamina, right? Like, you know, I can't have, you know, there was a time where I was getting so burnt out because I was eating like shit. I wasn't hydrating. I wasn't exercising. Noon rolls around, 1 o'clock rolls around. I was getting off of calls and I was literally, I couldn't run to my bed fast enough because my body was about to just crash out, and I needed a nap for at least an hour or I wouldn't be able to continue. And if I didn't get that nap in, I would just be completely shut down, and that's just not a sustainable system. So everything I do, right, especially in the morning, right? I'm doing things that are preparing me for what I know I have to do, right? I know I'm managing a substantial amount of money on my trading accounts. I know I have to bring my A game. So what's going to promote that? Me being well rested, getting a good night's sleep, fueling my body with the energy and the fuel that it needs to be able to operate at its maximum capacity, right? Hydration. So, you've seen my routine, you're seeing what I'm doing in the morning. All of this is to promote what I need to do and handle business for, my family, being a present father and, partner, being able to show up and perform at a very high level day in, day out on these charts, operating businesses and being able to manage teams and, all these things. Like, everything I do in terms of my preparation is to really promote that, right? Because I know what I have to be able to do. And then of course, right, just longevity, right? Wanting to live a long, healthy life so that I can accomplish the goals that I've set for myself, so that my family can really be financially secure, right? And that's what drives my hunger, knowing that I need to get to a certain place before I know that my daughter's good, her kids are good. So I need to be able to, be healthy, exercise, put good food in my body. And I've taken it even to the extremes of, even the soaps that I use, right? I'm using all natural toothpaste, all natural deodorants, no chemicals, no aluminums, no dyes, right? Like, I'm just so focused on the machine, right? Our minds and our body, and eliminating anything. Like, it's like buying that Lamborghini, like saving and working your butt for that Lamborghini and then getting it and then just treating it like it's a Lambo. Like, you're not beating it to shit like if you were, whipping around in a $2,000 Honda Civic, right? Like, so you're in a Lamborghini, your body is a Lamborghini, and you need to be getting those oil changes regularly. You need to be, filling those tires up and rotating them and getting those tune-ups and just giving your engine that premium fuel, right? So that high octane fuel, right? So like, that's like my whole philosophy right now, with just the spring water, right? I'm drinking spring water sourced locally. I'm doing a lot of fruits and vegetables sourced locally, right? Just no sugar. I've completely cut sugar out. All natural products, from my soaps to my lotions to you name it, all natural, no chemicals, no dyes, right? I mean, even stuff like that, it's in your skin and absorbed into your bloodstream in 30 seconds. So, everything right now is just, that's even stuff I'm measuring, right? So it's all just about, really preparing, optimizing, and measuring. And that's all of these things, and matching it with your environment